Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marie and I'm an artist predominantly in oil and watercolor, and I'm new to gouache, and I've been posting these videos of my process in gouache to share some tips that maybe will help other beginners out there. So let's get started. So I'll just mention a few supplies that I used. I used Winsor & Newton gouache paint and also a size 6 synthetic round brush on watercolor paper. So I'll post the reference photo. It's a Fiordland National Park in New Zealand. And the person who took the photo is from Instagram, and the account name is All the Lovely Places. And they permitted me to use this photo for this painting. So thank you so much for your support. So what I tried to paint first was the sky. I'm mixing permanent white with phthalo blue, and then near the horizon I added a little bit of lemon yellow. I also tried to paint fairly quickly by painting wet on wet, and gouache, you'll become familiar with it, that gouache dries relatively quickly, so I had to work really fast so that I could blend those colors together. I also tried some scumbling into other paint strokes that I already laid down, and that seems to help kind of blend seamlessly together. So here I'm using permanent white with the least amount of water to paint the clouds. And for the mountains, I used permanent white with ultramarine blue. It seems to be my go-to for atmospheric perspective in mountains. And it seems to do the trick. So after the mountain, I wanted to tackle the little forest right in front of the mountain, and I tried to mix some greens and blues and whites so that it's light and it's got a bluish hue to it so that it looks like it's still receding in the background. I start to fill in the darkest values, and I found that I mixed too much of a muddy color, so you'll see later on that I'll go over these darker areas with a more violet and lightened value. So I just wanted to share and being completely transparent of my wins and losses and my failures, so you could see that, it's a whole journey painting this painting. It doesn't go very smoothly. I think there's something satisfying in painting really bright fluorescent colors, and I had fun with painting this background of fluorescent flowers in the distance. It was really interesting. I had to mute it later, but it was nice to be so bold on paper, at least at the beginning. For the water, usually I use the same colors as the sky, but I guess because it wasn't really in direct sunlight, that the water looked much darker or in shadow. So I had to use ultramarine blue instead of phthalo blue. The painting's starting to get exciting with adding more fluorescent colors. So, like I said earlier, this is a lot of fun to paint all these like saturated Fluorescent Colors. This was again Opera Rose on the tops of the lupins and also the stem of the lupins. So I block in all the other lupins that you see in violet, and then I'll go over them with the darker values. So here I start to block in the greenery in the forefront using sap green and permanent white. And I'll also add a bit of cadmium yellow or ultramarine blue depending on if it's in sunlight or in shadow. So I start to paint the largest lupin in the forefront, and I wanted this to be the focal point of this painting. So I try to spend the most amount of time painting all the details of this lupin, including painting all the little flowers, those vertical flowers that you'll see in the reference photo. So that took a while, and I wanted to interchange the different values and shades. So I think I used a mixture of violet and also ultramarine blue, as well as some purples to make that a lupin the most interesting. I tried to reintroduce the lightest values of this lupin with lavender, which was light purple and permanent white mix. And it was just to give a full value range of this lupin, and it sets it apart from the other lupins of the field on the left side, so that the eye can go to this particular lupin. So what I'll continue doing is I'll continue to add details to the foreground. So that includes the rest of the lupins and also the greenery. This helps push the background further back and keeps the eye on all the details in the foreground. So this is the finished piece. I hope you like it, and I hope you like this video. I learned a lot from it, and it was one of my first times using a size 6 round brush. So that was an adventure and totally changed my style of painting. So I hope you learned something too. If you have any suggestions on any other future videos, I'd love to hear from you. I'm still new at this, and I'm still just practicing how to talk in front of camera. So just let me know in the comments below. So I thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more of my work, you can check out M Santos Art on my website or on Instagram. So I hope you all have a good week, and hope to see you soon. Oh, and I also forgot, and I'll add it on here, that I also painted a mini of the same painting as a warm-up, so I wanted to share it on here. So I'll say again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a good week, and I'll see you at my next video. Bye!